I'm sorry, I can't hear anything that's going on right now.
Same.
Once Rachel gets her mic figured out, we'll get started. So we want to get our cameras back on, get ready for our final round.
All right, Coach Sam, can you hear me?
All right, can you guys hear me now? So sorry about that. I will take on all the tech problems so that you guys don't have any, I promise. Well, congratulations, Ayana and Neve. Congratulations. That was such an incredible round. So really excited for both of you. We are here in the final round of quarter 4 of the club debate season. So excited. Judges are going to give us a little round of applause for our finalists. Thank you guys so much. We are going to be turning things over to Coach Sam, who will be the chair for this final round. You still have your fantastic judges, Alexis and Coach Kylie as well. Ayana and Eve, take a deep breath. We are ready for the final round. Couple of reminders, make sure we check note cards, make sure we look our best because it is a final round. Make sure parents are watching so we are absolutely ready for the best debate ever. With that, I'm going to turn things over to Coach Sam to get us started. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work and dedication. This is a huge moment, and we can't wait to celebrate with you guys.
Excellent. Okay, thank you, Rachel. And so we will have Ayana on the pro side, Neve on the con side. You guys both ready? Perfect. Just make sure we're framing ourselves correctly. Our time will start when we are properly framed, not when we start the timer. So, Ayana, can I just see your pro note card before you get started? Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. You are good to take it away.
What if the next war isn't fought with bullets but with code? Imagine waking up one day and the power is out, hospitals can't function, and people can't get help. Not because of bombs, but because of a cyber attack. This is not just imaginary, it's already happening. Cyber attacks are becoming more advanced and more dangerous, and they can cause serious damage without any physical fighting. Because of this, we need to focus more on cyber defense than traditional military weapons. Prioritizing cyber defense over expending ships, planes, and missiles is more good than harm. My first claim is that cyber defense addresses the most frequent threats. Cyber threats happen far more often than physical military attacks. According to USA Facts, the FBI receives over 859,000 cybercrime reports each year in the US, and globally it is expected to cost over 2,200 cyber attacks per day, about one every 39 seconds. These include ransomware attacks and data breaches and government, and they do not just affect individuals and businesses, but also government systems. On the other side, large-scale physical conflicts involving ships, planes, and missiles are rare and usually only happen during major wars. If something is happening constantly, it should be the main focus. If we ignore cyber defense, we aren't just risking online problems. We're leaving hospitals unable to treat patients, schools unable to function, and families vulnerable to identity theft and financial loss. These attacks don't wait for war; they happen every single day. Strengthening cyber defense protects real people in real time, not just in emergencies. I'm sorry. Did someone say something? Someone say
No,
something? I feel like I
we
heard
have
something.
not, but I paused your time. I have you at 125 right now.
I'm sorry. I thought I heard something.
Not a problem at all. I understand.
My second claim is that cybersecurity better protects the economy and stability. Cyber attacks can cause major financial damage that directly impacts the economy. According to the FBI Internet Crime Center of 2024, cybercrime led to about $16.6 billion in losses in the US, and globally it is expected to cost over $10 trillion each year. Around 60% of small businesses shut down within the first 6 months after opening because of a major cyber attack, then they cannot recover financially. These attacks affect jobs, businesses, and entire communities. Traditional military tools like ships, planes, and missiles are meant to prevent physical attacks, but they do not stop these economic threats, which are already happening regularly. Cyber attacks don't just hurt businesses, they can wipe out someone's job overnight, shut down entire communities, and destroys people's savings. When small businesses collapse, families lose their income, and the whole economy goes haywire. My third and final claim is that cyber defense protects infrastructure and reflects the future of warfare. Critical systems like power grids, water supply, transportation, and communication networks can all be targeted by cyber attacks. According to the Belfer Center in 2026, as these systems become more connected through technology, they also become more vulnerable to a cyber attack. If attacked, they can lead to major disruptions like power outages or failures in emergency services. In response, the U.S. Department of Defense launches programs similar to Operation Epic Fury in 2026, showing that digital networks are now a main part of national defense. Officials also warned that the U.S. is falling significantly behind in cyber warfare, while other countries are using gray zone tactics to attack other countries without directly fighting with them. These attacks cause power outages, there's no water, and no emergency service to help people. This is not just inconvenient, it puts lives at risk at a massive scale and leaves everyone open to economic destruction. Overall, cyber attacks are the more prone threat that's happening now, and they're much more constant and they're much more costly when taken into account. Not to mention they affect daily life and major systems. And they're cumulatively growing harder and they're cumulatively growing more distinct and making them harder to stop. As daily life and modern warfare are connected through technology, it's even more prone to prioritizing cyber defense over expanding traditional military like ships, planes, and missiles. If we keep preparing for old wars, we're going to lose the new ones. Thank you, and vote for Pro.
Thank you, Ayana. And Neve, do you have a note card for Cross?
Oh yeah. And yeah, here.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I just quickly need to set up my timer. Okay, I'll start in 3, 2, 1. What's more important, human lives or our economy?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What's more important, human lives or our economy?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up one more time.
Okay, what's more important, human lives or our economy?
Oh, okay. Human lives, obviously.
Okay, is frequency the same as severity?
In the long run, yes, it can be.
Okay, so will a bunch of small pinches be the same as breaking a whole entire bone?
If by small pinches you mean cyber attacks, that's not the case. These cyber attacks are not small. They happen at large-scale conflicts.
Okay, are most cyber attacks localized?
A lot of them are, yes.
Okay, so does that mean that these cyber attacks, which include the fails of cyber attacks, have less of an impact in scope?
Can you please rephrase your question? I didn't really understand.
Okay, does that mean most cyber attacks are minuscule in scope?
No.
Okay. Does military deterrence work?
Yes.
Okay, would you agree that military deterrence prevents forces from destroying our cities, which allows our economy to flourish?
Not necessarily.
Okay, could you explain?
So military deterrence can actually cause other nations to feel threatened, and it can raise tensions and cause other nations to attack where we are most vulnerable.
Okay. How would the United States standardize cyber defense? Because you mentioned how we need to protect these business owners. How could the government do that?
The government can do that by building up our cyber warfare and cyber defense systems.
Okay, but doesn't cyber warfare only entail the government and does not entail these local and privately owned businesses?
It entails both.
Okay. Is a missile easier to launch than preparing and executing a cyber attack?
Yes.
That is time. Thank you, speakers. Well done. Neve, can I see your note card one more time? Excellent. The other side for me. Thank you, Neve. And then as soon as you're properly framed, you are good to get started.
Okay, I'll start in 3, 2, 1. Your home country of the United States is being bombed. The bombing echoing louder than yodeling in a cave. You can feel the tension. You can feel the debris around you, rushing around, forming a whirlpool, a tornado of abyss and breeze, tearing down your whole entire economy. This may seem like a far-fetched scenario, but it's the result of defunding our military by prioritizing cyber defense. Henceforth, prioritizing cyber defense over expanding ships, planes, and missiles does more harm than good. For the two reasons of redirecting military funds strands geographically critical battle zones and the strategic ineffectiveness when juxtaposed to physical force. Moving on to my first point about how redirecting military funds can strand our allies and weaken our alliances. According to the Government Accountability Office, 11 out of 12 bases in 2026 are only 57% fully funded. What that means for us is that these bases are not being properly maintained. They are under constant scrutiny. They're not able to be held up. They aren't able to be properly prepare our military for actions. As a result, what this does, this can lead to crumbling airfields as described by the Government Accountability Office. What this does is it impairs our ability to respond and deploy forces in times where we need forces. Our allies can no longer depend on us if we can't even supply them with the military strength they need. The United States acts as a lifeline for our allies, who are most of the time not able to even hold a candle to the amount of strength our military has. If our military can't properly support our allies, that will drain government trust and foment rebellion possibly. And that could lead to our allies turning to our adversaries for proper help and proper dependence. Additionally, the Foreign Policy Research Institute found that in 2019, when Trump reallocated $770 million of funding towards Europe into the border restoration programs, this led to the readiness of the United States in the EU to go down the drain, exacerbating significantly. Additionally, it deaccelerated how the United States was able to deploy forces. That leads to the United States being unreliable in cases of war. It's internecine to both the United States, where alliances fall down the drain, and to our allies, who no longer have dependence and who have to go through years of struggle if they're in a situation of war. Next, let's explore the strategic ineffectiveness of physical forces. According to the Congress, physical force was much more effective than cyber attacks in disarming infrastructure systems. And Russia used missiles way less than they used cyber attacks. But missiles were more effective because one missile launch can entirely degrade an entire hospital, while cyber attacks have to be tediously executed and planned out. As a result, these cyber attacks are less effective and they're not able to properly serve their function. If these cyber attacks aren't effective, why would countries use them? Instead, they'll resort to having their physical forces. That'll lead to us wasting money on a program that doesn't even serve a purpose because our adversaries are more likely to choose the more effective plan. So in conclusion, prioritizing cyber defense over expanding ships, planes, and missiles does more harm than good. For the two reasons of redirecting military funds strands geographically critical battle zones and the strategic ineffectiveness when juxtaposed to physical force. Wasting our resources profligately into the plan of cyber defense is not only draining our money, but crumbling our alliances the very second we do it. It's no longer a situation about what's better for our for adapting to new warfare technology, but what's more conventional in the long run. Thank you.
Excellent. Ayana, are you using a note card for cross-examination?
Yes, I will be using a note card.
Awesome. Can I see the other side? Perfect.
Is protecting national systems unnecessary?
Protecting national systems, I wouldn't consider that unnecessary.
Why not?
I said I would not consider it unnecessary. It's pretty necessary.
Oh, okay. Do militaries use technology every day?
Yeah, of course.
Can military systems be hacked?
Not easily, because most of these military systems are very well. They're pretty foolproof.
So you agree that military systems are tightly connected by technology?
I would say that, but it doesn't mean that they're easy to hack.
Okay, so would be protecting these systems more necessary than protecting the systems that are already very well protected?
What do you mean by that? Like, sorry, I don't understand.
So cyber defense and cyber warfare is very unprotected and very weak right now. Would that not be better to fund it more than something that we already have very strongly?
I would consider it a waste of resources to prioritize our funding on cyber defense. Our military capabilities are necessary as we move on to the future, even if we go into multi-domain warfare.
Can cyber attacks disrupt communication systems?
Sometimes they can.
Have major organizations been hit by cyber attacks?
I am very unaware of that. I'm sorry. Can I
Okay.
answer?
Can hacking intelligence systems affect military strategy?
Perhaps with these if they really want to secure their military strategies, they're more likely to put it in a secure place, such as a physical paper.
But okay. So if cyber attacks cause real damage, how are they ineffective compared to physical force?
First of all, cyber attacks, yes, they can cause damage, but not nearly as much as physical force. And it takes much more time and brain power to actually commit to a cyber attack than launch a simple missile. Okay.
Sorry, that is time. Thank you, speakers.
Can I have
Well
30 seconds of
done.
prep time?
Yep, you got it. 30 seconds. Okay, that has been 30 seconds. Ayana, are you using note cards for refutation?
Can I actually have 15 more seconds?
You got it. 15 seconds. It's been 15 seconds. You ready?
Mhm.
Okay, minute and 15 left for prep for you.
Okay. My opponent's claim is that military funds are being wasted on cyber warfare. I disagree because cyber warfare is now a necessary part of national defense. So funding it is not a waste. Cyber attacks target things like banks, hospitals, pipelines, and government systems, which can seriously hurt a country without any physical violence. The 2021 Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack caused major fuel shortages and economic disruption in the US, showing how costly cyber threats can be. The United States Department of Defense has a national cyber strategy and continues investing in it. And because digital threats are now a major security issue, governments would not be funding cyber defense if it had no strategic value. This matters because calling cyber funding a complete waste ignores how much damage cyber attacks can cause. Without investing in cyber defense, countries have critical systems vulnerable to major attacks. My opponent's second claim was that cyber warfare is strategically ineffective. I disagree, because cyber warfare has already proven it can disrupt major systems and create real-world consequences. The Sturat cyber attack successfully targeted Iran's nuclear program by damaging Centurions through malware, showing cyber tools can achieve strategic military goals without any direct combat. The 2022 Russian-Ukraine conflict, including major cyber attacks, targeted communities, government systems, and infrastructure, proving that cyber warfare can cause so much more damage without a single bullet being fired. This matters because if cyber warfare was ineffective, governments would not keep investing in cyber units and digital defense. Cyber operations could definitely play a major role in modern strategy. Not to mention, in cross-examination, my opponent clearly agreed with me that cyber warfare is very important, and so is protecting the systems that cause a lot of these problems. Thank you, and vote for pro.
Awesome. Thank you, Ayana. Neve, would you like a little bit of prep time before your refutation speech?
I don't think I need any.
Okay. Can you take it away?
I'm sorry, just kind of set up my timer. Okay, I'll start in 3, 2, 1. Judge, my opponent had 3 claims. Their first claim being that their cyber attacks are more frequent. However, they failed to recognize that frequency does not equal potency and severity. According to Congress, Russian missile attacks had much more effect in disabling critical infrastructure than the thousands of cyber attacks that Russia initiated. What this shows is that one missile strike is so many more times more effective than what we are considering cyber attacks to be. We are severely overestimating the effectiveness of a cyber attack, and what we are doing is denigrating our physical forces and justifying something which is false. Cyber attacks, as all they really do, yes, they do hack into these critical infrastructure systems. But why would they use cyber operations when one missile strike is 10 times as effective? It's much like the analogy I referenced earlier, that 100 pinches is not comparable to breaking an entire bone. Secondly, my opponent had a claim about how cyber defense better protects our economy. However, deterrence prevents military powers from overwhelming our economy in the first place. According to in 2024, the National Defense Magazine stated that military deterrence can only result in regaining economic prowess. They say that deterrence fails, industrial systems must respond. What this means is that these industrial systems, like in our economy, are deeply interconnected with deterrence. Having better deterrence allows our economy to flourish much easier. And additionally, my opponent failed to regard that in their claim, they mentioned about these local areas who are being affected by cyber defense. However, they don't recognize the complexity required to properly use cyber defense to protect localized and private businesses. These private businesses cannot be protected by having a government-issued cyber defense funding. All that really does is help our military, but it's not going to be effective enough in combat. Lastly, they had a claim about how cyber defense protects critical infrastructure. However, cyber defense's cost doesn't guarantee the results that we claim to see. According to the Atlantic Council, policymakers struggle to determine which investments reduce cyber harm in 2026. What this means is that if we put our investments within a cyber defense system to protect critical infrastructure, we don't know if our investment is guaranteed to work. And that means that if an opponent, an adversary, finds the correct strategy to breach our security, that will be game over for us. So even if cyber defense protects critical infrastructure, military attacks harm it more, as shown in my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Neve. Ayana, I'm guessing you want that 75 seconds of prep.
Actually, I think I am ready to go.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Can I see your closing speech note card if you're using one?
Yes, front
Okay.
and back.
Perfect. Then your 2-minute closing speech will begin when you get started.
Judge, throughout this debate, I proved that prioritizing cyber defense over expanding ships, planes, and missiles does more good than harm. My strongest argument is that cyber attacks are one of the biggest threats we face today. Unlike traditional attacks, cyber attacks happen all the time and can target hard hospitals, banks, power grids, and government systems. This shows that security today is not just about protecting borders, but also about protecting the technology we depend on every day. My opponent argued that physical attacks are more dangerous because they cause direct destruction. However, cyber attacks can also cause major damage. They can shut down hospitals, cut power, freeze banking systems, and disrupt transportation. This proves that cyber threats are serious and can affect millions of people at once. My opponent's strongest claim was that military funds are being wasted on cyber warfare. I refuted this by showing that cyber warfare is now a necessary part of national defense, so funding it is not a waste at all. Cyber attacks can target banks, hospitals, pipelines, and government systems, as I mentioned before, and can cause serious harm, even without physical violence. The Colonial Pipeline attack, cyber attack, is one example that I use that has major fuel shortages and economic disruption in the US. Imagine if that were to happen globally in a couple of years. In addition, the US Department of Defense continues investing in cyber operations because digital threats are now a main security issue. If cyber defense had no value, governments would not continue making it a priority. Right now, it's not more than physical military weapons. When we compare worlds, one focuses mostly on traditional defense, while leaving important digital systems vulnerable. On the other side, which is what I'm going for, the other prioritizes cyber defense and protects the systems people rely on every day, like hospitals, banking, communication, and electricity. At the end of this debate, true security is not just about having more weapons or protecting borders, but about saving the civilian lives from real threats that are happening right now and making sure our country is prepared for the future. For these reasons, Judge, I strongly urge you to vote for affirmative.
Excellent job, Ayana. Wonderful. And Neve, would you like to use some prep time before your closing speech?
Yeah, I'd like to use all 2 minutes.
You got it. I'm going to run it for you. Okay, Neve, that's been 2 minutes. Can I see your closing speech note card, please?
This is just the back side, and on the front side was all the cross-examination.
Cross-X? Yeah, of course. Then you are all set to get started with your final speech of the season, Neve. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have to set up my timer. Okay, I'll start in 3, 2, 1. Judge, this debate was very intense, and what we are debating today is a critical issue that can decide the future of American society. However, first we must address that I'm not arguing for the replacement of cybersecurity, but what I'm arguing for is the option that chooses to best align with America's future, and that is physical force. My strongest claim of redirecting military forces trans-geographically critical battle zones outweighs my opponent's claims about the frequency of cyber attacks, because my claim can erode alliances. It can diminish governmental trust, leading to rebellion, leading to unrest, leading to society's collapse. And while our allies are being underfunded, they're not being cared about. They lose trust within us, turning to our adversaries, leading to us losing out on what we could have gained through a proper military. Then my opponent's claims about the frequency of cyber attacks. For one, these cyber attacks, they may be frequent, but they do not have the same impact as a physical attack. They're mostly localized and aimed at small and private institutions, which prioritizing cyber defense won't cover. This may lead to our economy possibly going under some sort of small collapse. But this isn't going to be able to be covered by simple legislation. Prioritizing cyber defense is going to affect our military. It's going to affect our intelligence, but it's not going to impact these small business owners my opponent is so concerned about. Additionally, the severity of these attacks only lasts a couple of days, and missiles are more effective, as I proved before. By voting pro, Judge, you are jeopardizing alliances and inadvertently killing our prized civilians in different countries. But by voting con, we enter military strength, we streamline economic prosperity, and we live in a world in which the United States remains dominant. Thank you.
Excellent job, debaters. Thank you guys for that excellent debate. You certainly put on a show for us. Judges and I are gonna spend some time completing our ballots. Then we're gonna announce who the winner is. So give us just a little bit of time. You certainly will need a little bit of time to deliberate. So thank you. Okay, so we have reached a decision. If I could have our competitors turn their camera. You guys are ready. Awesome. So first of all, want to say it was an excellent round. We had yet another split decision. And so in another 2-1 decision, the winner of our Q4 debate tournament is going to be the con speaker. So it's a 2-1 decision for the con. Excellent job, though, to both competitors, to all of our competitors. All the students who competed today, all the students who have been working with us these past 4 quarters, they've all really worked hard, and I've seen a tremendous amount of growth. Coaches and I have seen so much growth from the students and really contributing to something special in these tournaments. And so I want to say thank you guys once again. Thank our families, thank our competitors, our coaches, our judges, really just making the season possible for us. The Club Debate League works because you guys show up each and every time. And so I'm eternally grateful for that support that we get from you. To our students as well, just want to make sure we see you at camp this summer. We are certainly looking forward to welcoming you in person, for some of our camp programs this year. But I'm going to hand things over to Rachel.
Thank you so
That's
much.
how you come on camera. I got excited, so I apologize.
I was just here to thank all the kids for doing such a great job. Neve, Ayana, fantastic job. So excited to be here and see your success. Thank you guys again so much. That was an incredible round. So with that, I'm just here to close out the club debate season for 25-26. So we will see you guys for the 26-27 season. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great evening. Congrats. And Neve, don't forget to stay behind here for just 1 second. We have to get your photo. All right, so coaches, really quick on screen. All right, give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Awesome. And Neve, just one of you. Big smile. Awesome. Congratulations, Neve. Great job. We'll see you very soon at camp.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, Neve.